From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, April the 22nd, 2020. An Israeli border police officer was moderately injured in a terror attack this morning just outside of Jerusalem. The officer was standing guard at a checkpoint near the West Bank city of Ma'ale Adumim when a Palestinian driver deliberately rammed his vehicle into the officer, propelling him into the air. He then got out of the vehicle and attacked the officer with a pair of scissors. The officer is seen getting up from the ground after being hit and fighting with the terrorist. Fellow officers then shot and killed the terrorist. Troops also found a pipe bomb at the scene. The officer sustained moderate injuries and was taken to Jerusalem's Shaare Tzedek Medical Center. He is said to be improving. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo welcomed the unity agreement signed earlier this week by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Blue and White Party leader Benny Gantz. Pompeo said today he was pleased that a fourth round of elections were averted in Israel. We're glad, he said, there's now a fully formed government. Regarding Netanyahu's plans to vote on West Bank annexation later this year, Pompeo said that's an Israeli decision, and we will work closely with them to share our views of this in a private setting. Pompeo also addressed the recent funds given to the Palestinians from the U.S. to help fight the coronavirus. He said we'll evaluate if those $5 million both worked, delivered, and second, if there's more resources that are both either appropriate or can be delivered in a way that actually gets to the Palestinian people. Netanyahu's office confirmed today that cabinet ministers approved his emergency lockdown measures for the upcoming Yom HaZikaron, Israel's Memorial Day to its fallen and victims of terror, and Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel's Independence Day. On Memorial Day, which begins Monday night and ends Tuesday evening, people will not be allowed to visit military cemeteries and memorial sites, as is the norm on those days. And a general curfew will go into effect for Independence Day, where Israelis will be asked to stay at home. That's Tuesday evening through Wednesday night. These efforts are being implemented, of course, to prevent people from gathering together in light of the coronavirus. The Hillel at the University of Massachusetts Amherst was vandalized on the eve of Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day. The Massachusetts Daily Collegian student newspaper reported that the word Palestine was spray-painted in Arabic on the outside of the building, which was closed, as is the entire school, because of the coronavirus pandemic. The graffiti was discovered yesterday morning. University Chancellor Kumbal Subbaswamy called it a brazen act of anti-Semitism, saying the timing of this cowardly act on Holocaust Remembrance Day is deeply repugnant. In this period of global crisis, it is more important than ever that we reject hatred and intolerance. Our Jewish students, faculty, and staff add to the rich diversity that makes UMass such a special place. And Hillel is a source of support and strength for so many of our students. Amherst police are investigating. And of course, during the coronavirus crisis, food is a concern for many, more than usual. The Masbia Kosher Soup Kitchen Network in New York said they have 80% new clients since the outbreak of the virus. Masbia Executive Director Alexander Rappaport spoke to JBS about how they are coping.
We need food, and a lot of it. We are losing about a trailer of food a day, meaning to say between our 3 locations, there are hundreds of families at each site picking up food for 7 days, every day, 5 days a week. It's extremely overwhelming. We are hiring lots of temps. We have to hire security guards to hold the line safe, so there should be social distancing and all that. It's a huge challenge, but the biggest challenge of all is still the food, the food, the food.
And Israel's religious leaders of all faiths came together today for a joint interfaith prayer for the world in light of the coronavirus, praying for health and recovery. Israel's chief rabbis and leading Christian, Muslim, and Druze religious figures took part, praying each in their own languages in Hebrew, English, and Arabic for world health.
I turned my eyes to the mountains, from where will my help come? Help comes from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth.
Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, April the 22nd at 7 o'clock. 3 panels discuss the biblical story of the flood and how it relates to contemporary challenges of climate change. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with President and CEO of Israel Bonds, Israel Maimon, who discusses his experiences in the Golani Brigade, his role in the 2007 bombing of the Syrian nuclear reactor, and his concerns about Iran today. At 10 o'clock, a look at Israel's groundbreaking work with water. And tonight, on a new Together During COVID-19, Mark Golub speaks with Abby Goldfarb, who is in the cast of the Yiddish production of Fiddler on the Roof. She explains how she came to post her parody, Mask Maker, Mask Maker. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, April the 22nd, 2020. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well.